Joined now behind the mic with Steve Turcotte, the voice of the Shawinigan Cataractes. Cataractes come into Cape Breton having beaten Victoriaville twice, but of course prior to that, a lengthy losing streak. Steve, was the rough start to the season a surprise to people following Shawinigan?
Yeah, a little bit surprised by that. I think that the team is better than the record that they show now. Only 2 wins, 8 defeats. I think with Michael Denisov, a better Michael Denisov, the record will be much better.
New man behind the bench in Shawinigan. Fans have gotten to hear from him. Daniel Renaud, tell us about his adjustment to the queue from your perspective as a head coach.
He's a young coach, first experience as well as head coach, but he has some mileage in the queue. He works with Philippe Boucher, he works with Serge Beausoleil, but now it's an interesting challenge here in Shawinigan. A lot of rookies in the lineup, and of course, Samuel Girard and Brandon Gignac was not here at this moment, so it's not a small challenge for him.
No, definitely not. And I wanted to ask about Girard and Gignac, both staying in the pro ranks for now. Was that something people in Shawinigan expected? Do you think that there's a chance that either of those guys could be back? How does that play out going forward?
I think Brandon Gignac has a good chance to come back in Shawinigan. When? I don't know. But sooner than later, in my opinion, because he only played 1 game in AHL right now. He seems to be with the team, but not playing so much. So at this age, at 20 years old, I think he needs to play a lot of minutes to continue his development. And the best place to do it for him is, of course, is Shawinigan Cataractes this year. So I think in maybe 1 or 2 weeks, he will come back. For Samuel Girard, it's another case. He fits so well in Predator Nashville this week and last week. And with the injury of Ryan Ellis, my fear is that he will stick in Nashville for all the season.
Yeah, and certainly looks not out of place to start the year in Nashville for sure. Big news coming out of Shawinigan on the weekend was regarding the Charlie Waugh, Maxime Comtois incident. This puts the Cataractes down, man, because they traded to improve their defense. How does this situation look going forward for the next 15 games without Waugh in the lineup?
It's 2 things. First, of course, Waugh will not be there. 15 games, it's a lot for an overager like Waugh. But in the same time, because Waugh is an overager, Cataractes cannot replace him in the lineup by another overager. So they have to play with only 2 20 years old. Of course, it's a bad news for Daniel Renaud.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things play out going forward. I wanted to ask about Samuel Guilbeault on your team because he's someone that had a lot of expectation when he was a draft pick by Charlottetown. Hasn't had a ton of success in his Q career. Is he going to be a big player for the Cataractes this year?
He scored some goals against Victoriaville this weekend, but overall, I think he can do better. He has some tremendous skills, set skills. I think he can do a lot better. I think he knows that. I think Daniel Renaud knows that too. If he continues to work hard, I think things will be better for him.
Lastly, I wanted to ask about the Cataractes long-term. Obviously, they had a veteran team the last 2 years, and the rebuilding starts. When do you think this team can really be competitive again?
It depends on a lot of factors, Patrick. First of these factors is if Samuel Girard will come back or not. Because if he comes, it would serve as a bargain chip. You trade the value. I trade value for Shawinigan, and of course, if they do that, the rebuild would be more easy to do. If Samuel Girard not come back, I think it would take at least 2 or 3 years before the team will come back in the ranking.
Interesting story to watch. We'll be watching from afar for sure. Thanks for telling us about everything Shawinigan related, Steve. Best of luck to you and the team going forward.
Thank you, and sorry for my English.
That's not too bad at all. That's Steve Turcotte joining us at the intermission behind the mic. You're listening to Carstar, Cape Breton Screaming Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.